All right, it is 6 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. So first order of business, let's go ahead and do roll call. There we are. All right, we'll start with Mr. Chris Wiley. Present?
Yeah, he said present.
Okay, I saw his lips move there. Patricia Chambers.
Present.
Rufus Wells. And Todd Ireland.
Present.
I'm present as well. All right, so we do have a quorum, and so the meeting is in order. So do we want to go ahead and just, we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance really quickly here? All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Okay, so first item is the approval of the agenda. Has everybody had a chance to review tonight's agenda? All right, wonderful. We have a motion to approve the agenda.
This is Todd. Go ahead.
So move.
So moved by Mr. Wells, and a second.
Second.
All right, Mr. Ireland. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, so we'll move right along here. So the first item of discussion is the bank building project located at 25 Southwest Broad Street in Fairburn, Georgia. And we are going to be looking at some of the updated financials as well as some of the plans, and we'll be voting on a letter of support for this project. So do we have the applicant present? Mr. Reed, would you like to go ahead and catch us up a little bit?
All right. Good afternoon. I'm glad you guys give me an opportunity to stand before you. Pretty much, I think you guys still have the original or the updated presentation.
Mm-hmm.
What I just, gave you guys is basically the building, the look, the vision, and the goal is to do a breakfast brunch restaurant with office spaces on the second floor. Restaurant has been named. The restaurant's officially been named Q's Brunch and Lounge. We went through and got that process done through the Fulton County. So what I'm presenting you guys right now is the financials to have the first phase built out. The construction. I really wasn't going to go. I guess I really wasn't going to go through my whole presentation unless you guys want me to go back through the presentation. Really, I'm here to show you guys what the financials, what's the build-out cost to get this project across the table. I am working with a banking institution that we are at the underwriter stage to get the approval for the. It's about $800,000 if you take a look, about $800,000 for the build out. We are definitely had an opportunity for Sylvia to sit on a call with me and my banking group to discuss, with the city, and help get this project across the board. The bank was pretty interested in knowing what the city of Fairburn and their thoughts and their feelings was about the building. So I think that meeting went pretty well. So I'm in front of you guys to ask that question, can I get that letter of support from you?
All right, great. Any questions?
Mr. Reed, last time you were here, I know after the meeting, we talked briefly, and I recommended that you put together like a 5-year pro forma.
Yes.
Is that, is your institutional lender helping you with that, or?
We actually did deliver the 5-year to Sylvia, to the city.
Okay.
So, yeah,
That was something that we distributed and discussed, but we did distribute that.
Yeah.
But I will forward that to you.
Okay.
Again.
Very good. Thank you.
Mr. Reed, has there been any interest and or intention in working with the city to procure some of the programs such as the Georgia Cities Foundation, Georgia, I believe it's revolving loan fund, I know there's a couple programs that the city typically works with small projects like this. Have you guys initiated that conversation yet with the development? Well,
Actually, yesterday,
administrators?
we initiated that conversation with the city. We are having a meeting next week to sit down with the,
With the city administrator, so the follow-up meeting will be with the bank and the city administrator,
great,
on Tuesday.
wonderful, great, good. Well, I wish you the best of luck. I think this is a great project. It would certainly add a lot of vitality to the downtown, which is something we're actively looking to pursue. And yeah, very happy to see you moving forward and glad you're making some progress.
I can't tell you how excited I am about making this and getting this across the table. I think it'll be an awesome piece to the city of Fairburn. I think it'll be awesome.
Yeah, wonderful. Any other discussion? Okay. Well, if we're all ready, we can go ahead and, do we have a motion to approve the letter of support for the project at 25 Broad Street?
This is Todd Arlen. I make a motion to approve the letter of support for the 25 Southwest Broad Street project.
Do we have a second?
So move. Second.
Second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Best of luck to you.
You're welcome.
All right. Wonderful. Okay, so we have a few other items on the agenda up for vote this evening. The next is section 4.1, we just did bank project letter of support. 4.2, board authority chair selection. So let's see, where is that document here?
So that's, regarding the item in terms of change. Items that are up would be one, to just make the change from vice chair to chair, to vote on that, or to do an overall vote for the chair position.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
So that has not been shared, so if you want to share that. or we
I'd
can
happy
table
to,
it, or
sure.
we can table it.
I know. No, I'd be happy to just give you guys a little insight into why this change is happening. So I do have another business that is overseas. That business has started to take off. So my family and I are actually moving to Italy in September of this year. So that change happened fairly quickly. As you guys know, I do own the Cockermill Brewing Company here in Fairburn, so we intend fully on continuing that business forward. We have a great chief operating officer who's been our day-to-day operational key man, and so he'll continue to be in that place, and we'll continue to see that business thrive and hopefully grow as we mature. And I hate to have this come up at such an early phase in this process. I've enjoyed working with you guys, and obviously the city, we've been working with each other for longer than we've been on this board, but yeah, that's why this is happening. And so we'll be voting to elect or transfer the chair position to Mr. Wells in my absence, and hopefully we'll find another member of this board fairly quickly that could qualify and carry on all the good work that we've started. So that's where we're at. All right. Any further discussion? Any questions? All right. Well, thank you guys for the opportunity. I really appreciate it. It's been good to get to know all of you, and best of luck moving forward. I wish I could be a bigger part of this thing for longer, but we'll certainly continue to be a part of the community of Fairburn moving forward. But all right. So do we have a motion to approve the board authority chair selection?
This is Todd Arlen. I make a motion to approve the switching from the vice chair to the chair position.
And do we have a second?
Second.
Second. All right. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay. All right. And now we move on to the topic of attorney resolution. And so, let's see, Ms. Abernathy, would you like to brief us on that a little bit?
So during our last meetings, we reviewed proposals by attorneys to represent the Development Authority. When we first started the Development Authority, it was mentioned that the authority should consider having its own counsel, specifically for bond developments and just the overall nature of that position. The Development Authority did agree to consider additional proposals, which we looked at on last week. As we looked at those proposals, one of the determining factors were the availability of those firms and also cost. And of course, experience levels and the ability of that firm to work with the Development Authority of Fairburn. From a survey of the board, it was determined that because of the fees, that the structure that Dan McRae and Seafarth, did I say that correctly? Is that Seafarth? Seafarth Farm would align with the Fulton County, with our Development Authority in the sense that there would not be any upfront fees and that once retained, that it would only be for deal structures that would be presented and voted on by the Development Authority Board. So the document that you have before you has been, the language has been prepared by Seafarth for consideration. It's in draft form because we want to make sure that the Board Authority has time to review and examine before there is the vote. Our next meeting is August 23rd, when that will be up for vote. One of the things that we will make sure the Development Authority of Fairburn will have to have distinct letterhead, so we're going to remove the seal from that document, and we most likely will remove the Fairburn Situated to Succeed. I don't know, Chris, do you feel like the Fairburn Situated to Succeed document, logo will, okay?
You know, I don't, you just don't want to make it seem like cities making that decision.
Right.
Because you're two distinct entities. So,
Right.
I just think out of caution, I want to move
Yep.
to the city seal.
Okay,
Okay.
so on the resolution, the seal will be removed.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. So this is still draft form then?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll need
still
to,
draft warrant to review and for the board to respond, and that gives roughly about 30 days for you all to give us any edits or concerns before our next meeting.
great. Okay.
One of the things that I will say is that lingering, it's not, can I mention something that's not on here related to the text? Yeah,
If they want to add something to the
Yeah.
agenda. You can add it to the agenda if you want.
it's not, well, it's not a discussion item, so I'll just send it an email.
Okay. So I'm not sure what it is that we need to add, but,
Yeah,
um,
sorry about that.
yeah, I know we probably have some time to discuss new business, things like that at the
Exactly.
conclusion of the meeting. Okay, so this will be tabled until next meeting once the final draft is in form and we've had a chance to review it. Okay, great. So this will be tabled.
So this is the fastest meeting we've had.
Well, I don't know. We're pretty efficient. So do we want to close the meeting before, the only questions I have would be on the basis of, or just discussing any progress made on the Downtown Development Authority committees
Yes.
we discussed at the
Yes.
last meeting. Is that something we can, do we need to add that to the agenda?
I think we do,
Yes.
because there are a couple of things that have come up that we definitely will need the Development Authority to chime in on and to participate.
Okay, we need, I guess we need to vote on that, don't we? Okay.
Mhm.
So do we have a motion, can I get a motion to add further discussion on the status of the Downtown Development Authority committee statuses to the agenda?
So move.
And a second?
Ms. Todd Ireland, I second that motion.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. So,
Okay, so we're in budget season right now, and there are a great deal of projects that will be before the Development Authority, and I'm glad that we mentioned this. Namely, there are two major tax abatements that we will be looking at. One is an advanced manufacturing company we successfully recruited and them to relocate within the city of Fairburn. We have provided them with an incentives proposal that was in collaboration with our partners at the county and state levels. As a result, they were able to meet with our city administration, and they did say that they are relocating to Fairburn.
Congratulations.
Good.
Thank you.
That's great.
So that is a project that we will be bringing before the Development Authority. The tax abatement that they're looking for is basic to property, moreover than property ownership. That's going to be their equipment and manufacturing cost. So and it will bring approximately 150 jobs to the area. The second project is South City Partners. As you know, you have reviewed South City Partners and their abatement, where they are offering roughly $250,000 to the city of Fairburn for community park development. And also they are offering services for police officers at the Wren Park development. That was voted on and accepted by the Development Authority, which means that the inducement resolution will be voted on during our next meeting.
Great.
So those are items. Regarding the committees, there are some wonderful opportunities for Development Authority this year and then moving forward. One is we previously were part of GIC, which is Georgia Communities. It's a Georgia Communities development group that pretty much enhances or works with local governments. It's in partnership with local governments to ensure attainable workforce housing. Specifically, we're continuing to look at the Lightning and the downtown community. Mr. Wells previously was on that team. And we are wanting to work with our planning, zoning, the community development departments to reinstate GIC. Why? Because we're looking at the education campus expansion, and that particular designation adds to, in terms of favorability for funding and financing on those projects. So we want to look at the Development Authority becoming partners and members. There are opportunities for real estate, a business owner, someone who has the background. We would like for you all to consider signing up for being on that committee again. In relation to our Main Street program, of course, we have one of our members from Main Street, Ms. Mika Smith, right here. And she has been instrumental. She's worked with us for 2 to 3 years, and as a business owner has contributed throughout the process. And do you want to briefly talk about what that process has been like for you? Well, for the previous year, yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, not to put you on the spot. Yeah, you can sit. Yep.
Good evening.
Evening.
Good evening.
I'm Mayor Avery. I was like, oh, the door's locked. But so I was able to get in. It's actually been great. I would say I'm a little disappointed because I'm like, Sylvia, what are we doing? What are we doing? And I seen someone else in the that's in the group. Actually, our kids go to the private school together, and we was just lost. But when we started, it was really, really great. We got a great team that's very supportive of Fairburn, that really wants to see Fairburn grow. And to be honest, a lot of people, I don't mean that it negative or anything, wrote me off because they don't see me in my salon every day. I actually work in my industry. I'm an associate brand manager for marketing. So I'm in there, and I also teach cosmetology. So my goal was to put a business in Fairburn. When my dad got sick, this is where I lived. I brought my father here. I brought my mother here. Unfortunately, my dad had passed, and I told my husband I was going to close the business because there was no need to have the salon anymore. And because I'm part of this group and I'm part of this community, my kids went to Creekside. My youngest son, of course, doesn't attend, but different path. But I have 3 kids that have graduated in this community, and I've been in this community for almost 17 years. I'm still in the community, so I pay taxes twice, on the house and the business. So, I mean, I am here. I talk to everybody. I used to be on foot, but because I took the marketing job in the manufacturing but the hair side, the manufacturing business, so it takes me away. But again, I was gonna close, and believe it or not, some other salon owners closed their salon, and they basically just said, I don't wanna own anymore. So when I say God is good, I gained 2 people for one. I got the 2 sisters. So I don't even clean up, you guys. I mean, they are so great. So my salon is doing what I wanted it to do. I opened it to put people there, to put something in. If you come in my salon, it's not your typical, it's mom and pop, but it's a step above mom and pop because we're family. I play jazz. My atmosphere is totally different. And you're not gonna get it anywhere else. I'm very multicultural. So this group's helped me put back in the community. It helped me participate. I know we was working on a scholarship at the time, Miss Frankie, did I get it right? So that was something that was, so now I work, since then, I work for this big hair company. It's just a matter of me getting products, because I work in marketing, to give back to the community if we're doing a back to school special. They're looking for things. I think the first year I worked there, they gave $3 million to Clark University. So they're looking to partner with things, and this board gives me the opportunity to now be in that part of the field, to share, continue to grow. So we are looking to start back our part. It's just, COVID kind of shut us down, but my group is ready to work. We talk about it. Even I'll call Miss Sylvia, our pastor, and like, what are we doing? So just know that we have a good group of people that are willing to get on foot and work for Fairburn, and we all live in the community.
And Miss Mika Smith was over the promotions committee. She worked with our hotels in terms of activating that. So anyone who's interested in working with the hospitality and promotions, Mika is an excellent resource, and she and some of the hotel owners would collaborate on different events and things that we can do, the activities to bolster and contribute it to tourism.
And I think they shifted, but of course, it's just a matter of getting and meeting the new people. People move. Getting to shift, but it's just a matter of getting back out there and getting the groups going back. And of course, we're out of COVID from a standpoint of meeting again. So when we're ready to start up. And thanks for having me.
Fantastic, thank you.
Thank you.
So in terms of the committees, we just need some input from our board members as to areas where you're interested so we can begin plugging folks in. So the information that was provided in terms of describing each of those committees, just share what areas. We have a new Main Street coordinator, and he is actively getting those committees back up and running, namely Keep Fairburn Beautiful. He has, as we were going through our budget, he has 4 initiatives that he is going to be actively working on. Number 1, the orientation, which is bringing the members back together. To talk about the initiative and what it means from an economic development standpoint, kind of connecting the dots. He will also identify a cleanup project, and then 2 others that connect with like our school system and some of the projects that we've done before. So in addition to that, getting the Main Street Board active on a monthly basis will be a part of that functionality. He will be, his name is Arbishua Jalil Rojas. He will be at our next meeting for you all to meet him and ask questions, and he'll provide some additional information about work that he'll be doing.
Great. I have a few names for you as well when
Perfect.
we're done.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for the updates. Thank you for all your hard work. We appreciate it. Yeah. All right. Any further discussion? Any questions? All right. Great. Well, I think we're ready for Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir. Oh,
yeah, you're
yes,
mayor of the city.
that's what I thought.
You can sit up here if you like. I'm in your seat.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for the time you dedicated for us, and I'm made aware of your departure. It hurts me personally, but I'm very excited about why you're leaving. So I want to just bid you Godspeed in you and your family in your every endeavors. I want to mention too, and I hate because there's a person that I'm hoping to have on the agenda. Our first meeting in August, that I'm going to appoint to Development Authority that is a business mind for the very, and I just hate that you're not going to get a chance to work with this person because this person has done a lot for our city and has worked in our city a lot. And so again, I want to just come and let you know that it seemed like every time I found a great candidate, one is leaving. And so, but I'm still working on it, and in my efforts, it's kind of hard right now because the Development Authority has various rules that have to be obeyed in terms of who can serve. It's become a little more difficult than I thought in terms of maintaining the level of diversity that I wanted between male, female, and various ethnic groups. But right now in this situation I'm in, I've got to bring people that I know are truly qualified with business minds. And without going into great details, Ms. Abernathy mentioned with some of the economic development that the city of Fairburn will be undertaking between now and the next 18 months, you're going to be very proud to say you were part of the Development Authority. I can promise you that. And so I'm just believing right now, as we brief council right now, what is it that we're planning that will require a Development Authority input. You're going to be, when I said we're going to make a mark in this city that'll be talked about for decades. And so with that being said, again, thank every single one of you as well for taking your personal time, coming out, volunteering, and let's keep making a mark in this city that'll be talked about for decades. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Mayor. All right. Well, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned at 6:27. Thank you, Chris.
Go ahead, get some sleep there, Chris.
I know you were trying to dodge it, man.
That's commitment.